3 levels in and we're seeing the game's map screen for the first time. I quite like the little animation that sets out the path before us, as it indicates that we're playing through every step of Yuki's journey in real time. Another nice bit of continuity the game provides is starting us off each level next to the corpse of the previous level's boss. With the money we got last time, we can check out the Helper bot, buy some upgrades. He's got consumables and health upgrades available. I've upgraded the Cloud Sword. The co-op players are preferential of light weaponry, and I tend to prefer heavy weapons, so that should be a good counterpoint. Got 2 new enemy types, the Men in Black and the bulky sword-armed guys. And they've all been defeated before they could do much of anything. There'll be plenty more encounters with both of them, though. Here's the room where we'll be using the key card. But first, we have the first secret of the level. The goat bead will allow blunt attacks to occasionally scatter enemies. Yuki doesn't have any blunt attacks, it's more for the dishwasher, but I've still put it on over the bell bead, which has worn out its welcome. Now that we're locked in this room, we'll get a better chance to look at what these new enemies will do. The Men in Black can teleport around. They're otherwise fairly similar to the pistol-wielding guards from the first level, except for that drop-kick attack. With the first batch down, they're going to send in another wave. The bulky swordsmen are fairly similar to the jailer boss from the first level. Very dangerous from the front. Best to approach them from behind, but they tend to move away from you. The newly upgraded Cloud Sword is very effective at dealing with them. It's important to note that Yuki's dodge move is always the Blood Mist. The Dishwasher has a unique dodge move for each of his weapons. 3 of them are equivalent to the Blood Mist, but 2 of them, for his heavy weapons, are more jumps that cannot be chained to fly around. So Yuki's heavy weapons basically have no drawback. Seems another nightmare is coming on. Unlike previous nightmares that have empowered Yuki, this one has beheaded her. It's a nasty surprise that is most likely to get you the first time you see it. Fortunately, it only sets you back a few seconds to the beginning of the room, allowing us to try again. Knowing that it's coming allows us to outrun our stalker before we even get a really good look at him. We're immediately attacked again by more enemies. They're supposed to drop down the instant that the nightmare ends, making for a terrifying surprise. These ones have been a little more courteous. We can now turn our chainsaw arm into a chain gun. Let's try it out. As we can see, the damage is comparable to that of a player-controlled P.A.K.A., which is to say, negligible at this difficulty. So I will not be using it very much. Let's see how it fares against a flak jacket zombie. Takes about a clip and a half, and leaves a nice bullet-riddled corpse at least. It can be manually reloaded by pulling the trigger and hitting B at the same time. Another nightmare. Not sure I want to go into this one. Geronimo! Seems a bit safer than the last one. Looks like since the coast is clear of any Freddy Kruegers, we have no choice but to obey the arrows. By sitting in the electric chair, we have unlocked the first blood magic. Let's check out what that does. So it arcs between any enemies within its range, back and forth until no more than one of them survives. It won't strike any respawned enemies that come in while it's arcing, so it can only kill the enemies on screen when it's started. Had a nice cooperative juggle with the enemy there. If you get enough arcs going, the casting animation for the spell will end, and you'll be able to start swinging your sword again. And while the arcing is going on, Yuki is completely invincible, so you can get in a free strike or two, if you're lucky. I like to keep at least one skull empty, so that when a skull drops from an enemy, it won't go to waste. Since we only have one skull at all at the moment, it means I'll always be using my magic whenever I have it. And in this level, skulls drop very, very frequently to allow us to test them out. So this room is usually pretty easy. One more wave of enemies, this time including swordsmen. You can see the lightning arced off of nothing at one point. I'm not sure if that's a feature or a bug that allows for extra arcs, but I'm not complaining about it either way. Picking up a skull does refill some health, so even if you pick one up when you have full skulls, it doesn't go completely to waste, but it's not nearly as useful as getting more magic.
Frank is pleased to introduce F3, Fatalistic Financial Forecasting. Accept your destiny, the Ömödö word. Frank, banking, love, infinity.
That O with an umlaut looks like a very surprised emoticon. Another 60-second combat sequence. This one is actually pathetically easy. The only reason for which you would fail would be if you got exploded by the suicidal zombies, which is a distinct possibility because it's so small of a room. But if you survive, you're going to get the squid chips. And here we have another secret, almost identical to the one earlier in the level. The squid bead allows for grab attacks to do additional damage. The sword we're wielding does not have any grab attacks, so it is not very useful to us. Doesn't hurt to have for when we swap out weapons, though. I accidentally slid past the path to progress. Speaking of switching out weapons for the grab attack, we'll be needing to do so in this room, so that we can instantly kill all of these enemies. Not that we need the bead for that. Ridiculously easy. Pretty sure that's just there to refill your health and skulls. We need that refill to face the boss, the Cretan. Cretan's basically just gonna charge back and forth and stomp with his spider legs. In this incredibly cramped quarters, that can actually be very dangerous. His minions are also pretty effective. So this is not a very easy boss fight, unlike the last one. Magic, while almost instantly fatal on basic enemies, does almost nothing to bosses because they have so much more HP. And as you can see, the Cretan does 2/3 of our health with one hit. Minion did the final third of our health. We'll have to tread very lightly for the rest of this fight. Rather lucky that last attack didn't hit me. Just gonna wait here and hope that hearts spawn. Luckily they do. Boss is emptied out, we can execute him. And the Cretan is beaten. Which brings an end to this level. Next time we'll be climbing the rest of Ömödö's tower to face him directly.